So long story short, I wasn't looking for an onboarding tool. I was really looking for a pre-boarding tool. And I looked at a couple other companies out there, Sapling. I looked at Greenhouse, they were our ATS. And because I work for Cisco, they use Avature as their candidate relationship management system. But after sitting down and talking with Enboarder, I was just so overly impressed with the simplicity of the tool. And it could basically take care of everything on that list that Jen, you just showed, would take care of for us. So it was for us just a win-win situation.
Moving on, so Darren, you kind of did quickly go over this, but can you explain quickly, like what was it about Enboarder's platform that made us the winner in the end?
Oh, absolutely. Well, without question, it was just the simplicity of use and just how slick. It was just a really slick tool. I knew it was going to be consistent for us and fix a lot of the automation issues that we talked about. The other big thing for us was, like I said, it was easy to implement. No training was required, and it allowed the users to really take care of the pre-boarding tasks that we wanted them to on their phone. They didn't have to be tethered to a laptop or a computer. They could do all this on their smartphones, which is another great thing. And I think from a management standpoint as well, there was no change management involved whatsoever. We put out a very beautiful communication, Enboarder's coming, and they just fell in line beautifully, which was great. Really, really great. Well, one of the best goals, I think, was that Enboarder aligned beautifully with Cisco Meraki's mission, and that's to simplify powerful technology so our colleagues, users, customers can focus on what's most important for them. And then Enboarder allowed us to do that. And it really kept things very consistent, was not prone to error, really took care of that for us, and really took care of those pre-boarding tasks. The end users, I have to say, and you're going to show a stat here in a little bit, we're just blown away by just the engagement that we were able to do with the new employee as well as the hiring manager. They couldn't wait for day one, which is another reason why I wanted to start with day one, to make that just very dazzling for the new employee. Then I went backwards, like you said, to pre-boarding. So the pre-boarding was really exciting for them, and then I made day one even more exciting. So the build-up that I wanted to build with Enboarder was very seamless to do and did an awesome job. What's so interesting is we do I'm getting maybe a little ahead of myself, but we do a feedback survey for Enboarder 2 days after they start. And yesterday was a start date for us. One of the senior leaders had someone go through Enboarder, and he filled out the feedback survey and said, wow, this is a major improvement over 2 years ago. And I just literally went, oh my God. So to get that kind of feedback from a senior leader was amazing. We're like, wow, it's working. And I think that was probably my aha moment with all the hard work that we put in during and before the pilot. And then just to look at each other and say, wow, it worked, and it worked really well. We accomplished our goal. And what's not to aha about that? Because it is a lot of hard work. It's a big lift. And to make sure you have the right folks in the right places and who's got the right roles, the right responsibilities. And I also say, to Enboarder, the team that I worked with there to help us get this lift and to launch successfully. Because we're going global soon, next month.
The two tiles in front of you on the left-hand side, one of the things that Cisco Meraki asks the new employees is, the number of notifications or messages you're receiving. Is it too much? Is it too little? Like, what does this look like? And over 90% of the new employees have said it's just right. So, that's certainly an indicator to Darren that this is going well. Those 9 notifications that they're receiving is kind of the perfect drip campaign of information and setting them up for success.
Is during the pre-boarding that they get in the 21 days before day one, correct?
Right.
That's amazing. 91% saying that's just right. And
Yep,
what
exactly.
on the right here?
Exactly. So then on the right, we have just a pulse check. So asking that new employee, were you prepared for, the manager, were you prepared for the new employee's arrival on day one? And 4.4 out of 5 stars here. That's 88% of those managers have said they felt prepared for day one, which again is a great indicator to Darren that the communications that are being sent are sending the right information at the right time in order for these two different participants to really feel like they're set up for success.
And alongside with this, Darren had sent me pages and pages of testimonials from new hires, just kind of singing his praises around how wonderful the onboarding program and day one was. And I would have loved to have shown all those up here, but I thought these little more concise.
What I find interesting too about this is I'm not a big fan of surveys unless you're going to survey me and take action on it. And that's one of the things we try to do with Enboarder here. So if people are saying, hey, these way too many notifications, that's something I'm really going to fix. And I literally respond to every single feedback that I get from new employees, which even generates more feedback because they think, oh, it's just a survey, no one's going to read this. I'm like, no. I read every single one and I reply back to every single one. I think it's important that people know that we still have that engagement with them. One of the great things about Enboarder is it lets us see what our new employees are clicking on and not clicking on. So our actual engagement rate is quite high because if they're not clicking, we're going to nudge them. We're actually the recruiting coordinators who have eyes into this, as well as my onboarding coordinator. We can go in and see if hiring managers, as well as a new employee, are reading, actually said we wouldn't know if they're reading it, but if they're clicking on it and actually taking care of the task we're actually asking them to do. So we have a very high click rate, which is really, and Jack can attest more to that too.